A few days back, we discovered this secret Japanese flavor explosion called Saikyo Yaki, commonly known as sweet miso or den miso, which we use to cook this out of this universe den miso salmon. And as a bonus, because I like giving away stuff for free, we'll also make this classic, real Ponzu dressing, which you can use on a world of tasty stuff. To make the miso, you combine the following in a saucepan: 50 grams or a fifth of a cup of sake, 50 grams or a fifth of a cup of mirin, 150 grams or half a cup of white miso paste, also called shiro miso, 75 grams and 1/3 of a cup of sugar. Heat it up until they fully become friends. Then remove it from the heat and cool it down. No need to cook off the alcohol, it'll cook off when we cook the fish. Speaking of which, old Nobu-san uses black cod, which is great but not always available. The original Kyoto recipe used mackerel. And guess what? To make you happy, we'll use salmon. Readily available and to everyone's taste. As much as I like crispy salmon skin, this method requires us to remove the skin, which you can cook separately if you like. However, I like to keep the fat and the brown meat layer under the skin intact. It's where 80% of the flavor and anti-heart attack fat lives. I prefer to cut the salmon into roughly 100 gram pieces, and also to keep the flatter and fattier belly part separate from the leaner, thicker loin or back part. Some like it fatty, some like it skinny. Your life, your choice. I personally don't discriminate. Either way, whichever fish you use, we need to give it a quick salting to remove some of the moisture. After 15 minutes at room temp, we wash it off in cold water and pat it dry with a paper towel. Next is the prelude to the magic about to unfold in front of you and also inside of you. Marinate the salmon in the den miso for about 30 minutes, but preferably 3 hours in the fridge, which gives us time to make two things. Firstly, ponzu, a citrusy umami sauce, to please any yummy umami. If you can find it, you use yuzu juice, which is traditional but also notoriously hard to find outside of Japan. Alternatively, we use a mix of lemon, lime and orange. Into a bowl goes 60 ml or 4 tablespoons of lemon juice and 30 ml or 2 tablespoons of lime juice, followed by 150 grams or half a cup of dark soy sauce, 70 grams or a quarter cup of mirin, 5 grams or 3/4 of an inch square of kombu, which is dried seaweed. You'll find it in most large supermarkets or in the Asian foods aisle, along with all these other goodies. Next, 2 grams, a quarter cup of shaved Katsuobushi, also known as Bonito Flakes, made by smoking and drying skipjack tuna. Lastly, only the zest of half an orange. Give that all a little mix, then let it infuse. Ponzu gets better over time, so best to make this a day before. Moving along, put your oven on the grill setting, or as high as it'll go, but grill mimics an open fire better. We also need to cook a little bit of Japanese short grain rice. Give 1 cup or 200 grams of rice a good wash until the water runs clear. Once washed, add 250 grams or 1 cup of water and a touch of salt. Bring that to a boil that cover with a tight-fitting lid. Turn the heat down to a bare minimum and cook for exactly 15 minutes. While the rice is doing its thing, we cook some sort of greens. And in this case, I picked bok choy. But go with whatever makes you happy. For the bok choy, I simply cut them in half, then sear it in a pan for a minute before adding a splash of water to let them finish in the steam. I want them cooked, but still somewhat crunchy. Set that aside for a second. Next, line a tray with foil to make cleaning up easier. Place your salmon onto the tray and brush it with more miso glaze, making sure you get good, even coverage. Grill the salmon for 4 minutes, making sure you don't burn it. A little bit of char is desirable and necessary, but the miso will burn in the blink of an eye, so keep that eye open and on the salmon. If it browns too quickly, simply move the tray down a few layers in your oven. Once the fish is cooked and shiny with a touch of char and knocking on your pleasure receiver, get your rice into a bowl you got from a market in Tokyo. Place a few greens in there along with as much salmon as you want. Add a touch of finely sliced scallions if you please, and a generous drizzle of Ponzu sauce. But before you do all that, go live a happy life.